Hey everybody, welcome to week 3. Are you going crazy yet? I was always there. Welcome to week 3. By the end of this week, we'll be about 20% of the way through the class. Hopefully everything is going well. Hopefully you're already into the groove of the class, and you're well into your profile essay, because we got peer review coming up. Let's talk about, first though, everything that happened last week. First thing I want to talk to you about is how you're submitting your work. I have asked for most of your assignments to be submitted as Word document attachments. Now, if you're actually using Word, this is pretty straightforward. All you have to do is hit the little save icon. If you are not using Word, if you are using, say, Google Docs, you have to go to the File option, select Download, and then select Microsoft Word as your option. This will save it as a nice Microsoft Word file that you can then upload to Blackboard. If you are a Mac person who uses Pages, you go to File, select Export to, and then select Word. I need it in these formats as much as anything else because we have a peer review session coming up, and I know that people can open Word documents. They don't necessarily have the ability to open other types of documents. So please, let's get this right. The only exception to the everything is an attachment rule is when we get to discussions. For discussions, I want your initial reaction cut and pasted into the submission box. I think when we're doing a discussion, it's not really necessary for someone to have to download a file to read your stuff. I think that's a decent time to cut and paste. Everywhere else, though, Word documents, please. One more thing about the discussions. Lots of people posted their initial reaction, but then either didn't ask questions or didn't answer the questions asked of them. This is bad because you're losing points by doing this. A lot of people just didn't answer the questions asked for them, and that's like 3 points, whang them off the top. I know we got 1,000 points throughout the course of the semester, but if you get a habit of losing 3 here, 3 there, 3 there, those add up very quickly. So let's please follow all of the document requirements. Let's also talk about the sample student essay for a second. The punks of yesterday and today. I didn't spend an inordinate amount of time studying your responses, but I saw a whole lot of people who in that first box, does this essay do everything it needs to do, wrote, yes it does. It quite coherently talks about the punks of yesterday and today. Well, are you just supposed to talk about something for an academic essay? No, you're supposed to make an argument. And what's the argument for the punks of yesterday and today? That punks have changed. Is that a good argument? I think not. I'm, of course, going to go over this in a whole lot more detail in the video itself. But when you watch the video, I want you to really think about why your point of view was different than my point of view. And you're going to need to put some levels of adjustment to your point of view. I was hoping that this would happen throughout the ranging essays, that after doing 2 batches of those, we'd all be on the same page. But the punks is not a good paper at all. And you need to really get the standards of the class down pat, because if you don't have the standards of the class down pat, it's going to make doing work that hits those standards fairly problematic. So spend some time thinking about this. What makes a good essay and how you recognize a good essay, because it is important to us. The other thing is, for the pre-writing exercise, I had a whole lot of people who did not follow the format we went over in the video. I had a few people who sent me just rough drafts of their stuff. I had a few people who did that first paragraph. I had a few people who did the first paragraph of the bulleted list, but didn't do the second paragraph. When I give you a video to watch, please watch it. please don't just watch it, but also pay some level of attention to it. And if I'm talking about how you're going to do an assignment, it would be a good idea to take notes, because it's a little bit problematic when I have to go over stuff 2 or 3 times. The videos are there. It's easy for you to watch them multiple times. It's easy for you to pause and write down stuff. There's really not much of an excuse for not following the directions. And I hate to be this whole whoosh kind of person at this moment in time, but for one of the classes, I think only 2 people actually got the points for the pre-writing. Everyone else is going to not get their comments until they fix things, and this is not good. So please, let's follow the directions. Now, let's talk about the work that we have coming up this current week. First off, there are a number of videos for us to watch. The first video would be going over the Jamaica Kincaid piece that we reacted to last time. There's some neat stuff here that talks about tourism as a critical approach, and I think it's something that you can start to apply to your own writing, particularly in the profile essay. You have a video going over the punks of yesterday and today, and this is one you're going to need to really think about, because your judgments very well were probably different than my judgments, and that needs to change. I have a bit going over how to do the peer review session, because there's a peer review session this week. We'll talk more about that in a second. I've got a video going over metaphor, because there's a writing skills builder on metaphor. I have a video going over narrative structure, because there's a writing skills builder on narratives that we need to talk about. You've already done yours. There's a voting for the best one, which we'll talk about in a second. And I have got a video going over the ranging essays too. Pay particularly attention to the one going over student writing, because that's where I'm hitting the qualities of good writing that we need to talk about. In terms of the written work we're doing this week, we have the profile essay peer review, which means by midnight Wednesday, you need to have a draft of your paper as complete as you possibly can make it done. You'll upload it to the discussion board. You'll comment on 2 other people's stuff. Full details are in the video. And the peer review process is also spelled out in the major assignment sheet. The reading for this week is Malcolm Gladwell, Small Change, and we have a discussion for that. Malcolm Gladwell's a pretty interesting writer, and he's talking about the ability of social media to affect any kind of real difference in the world. I think there's important stuff there. The writing skills builder for this week, last week's went over narrative. This one goes over metaphor. And it particularly deals with a quote from the section of the Charge of the Light Brigade. Theirs is not to wonder why. Theirs was but to do or die. Apply this to a metaphor for something in your own life. The other bit of work we have is the narrative ones came in. I graded them this week, and I picked what I thought were the 2 that struck my attention. I want you to read them both and vote on the favorite one. This will be worth 3 points. The winner will get bonus points. Bonus points are always good, right? So that's all you need to know to get going on week number 3. Hope that it goes well for you. If you have any questions, anything comes up, please do hit me up via Remind. Hope you have a great week, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.